Hi there, I'm Claire Feldman of Etology, and in this short video today I'm going to be chatting about the number one thing I would suggest that you do if you're struggling with binge eating. I'll also link in the comments below a free tool that you can use to try and support you with this also. So if you are kind of stuck in this endless diet and binge cycle, every Monday you're starting a new diet or a new plan, or you're giving yourself, really specific rules about how you're going to eat, and maybe very rule-bound thinking about all the things that you're not going to have in your diet and that you mustn't eat, only to find yourself maybe later that evening or later on that week that you're engaging in binge eating. That the first thing that I really encourage you to consider, and just bear with me when I say this, is are you actually eating enough? And you might be thinking, well, obviously, Claire, because I'm binge eating, then I'm eating too much. And that's a really normal kind of feeling to have, and particularly if you have engaged in binge eating, that often we try and overcompensate afterwards by not eating and restricting ourselves to try and balance out or make up for the fact that we have had a binge. But it's often that restriction and that rule-bound thinking that creates the urge to binge in the first place. So perhaps you are very busy maybe throughout the day, maybe you skip breakfast, maybe you're running around all day because you're really busy and you're just grazing, and then you might find that you are consuming large amounts of food in the evening time. Now, that is not necessarily that you might be labeling yourself as being greedy or not having any willpower. What that actually is just your brain has a primal desire to make sure that you are fed, that you are nourished in order to keep you alive. And if you've under-eaten throughout the day, that insatiable appetite, that desire to eat, that urge to overeat may be coming from the fact that you are not sufficiently nourished. And I think because we have just been, saturated in diet culture for so long, the message that we always receive is that we have to eat less. We have to eat less and we have to move more. So all of our energy and all of our attention goes on all the things we need to stop doing. So you might give yourself rules like, well, I need to stop eating bread, I need to stop eating chocolate, I need to stop eating after 7 p.m. And you give yourself all of these rules. And they're negative rules, and our brain doesn't register the negative instruction. It just hears denial and it hears deprivation, and our brains are hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So our brain doesn't take too kindly to these negative rules and instructions that you give it. So for an example, if I say to you, don't think about a pink elephant, no matter what you do, don't think about the pink elephant, I'm going to hazard a guess to say that you're seeing a pink elephant right now. The brain does not register the negative, and it's exactly the same with food. When you say don't have chocolate, don't have bread, don't have this, the desire to eat those foods goes through the roof because your brain thinks that you are literally depriving yourself and that you're starving yourself, and it only cares about your survival. So in order to overcome this, we need to make sure that we are eating sufficiently and that we are eating enough. And it's not, I don't prescribe any very specific meal plans, but I do give some guidance around what that might look like. So are we eating 3 balanced meals a day, a breakfast, lunch and a dinner? When I say balanced, I mean the balance between protein, carbohydrates and a small amount of healthy fats. Are you getting a snack in the morning time and in the afternoon time, and are they balanced as well? And the purpose behind that kind of structure of eating is that we are trying to ensure that we get an adequate amount of nutrition throughout the day, throughout the course of the day, to reduce the urge, that primal urge to binge in the evening time. But we also want to make sure that our blood sugars are remaining stable throughout the day, because if our blood sugars are erratic or our blood sugars fall very low, we tend to then crave sweet, more refined type foods. So the purpose of eating in that balanced, structured way is to keep our energy levels stable, to keep our blood sugar levels stable, and also to ensure that we're getting an adequate amount of nutrition and energy throughout the day. So I have attached in the little comments section below, there's a little Google Drive link, which is for a balanced plate guide. So I recommend that you download it, have a look at it, and just see how do the recommendations of the Balanced Plate Guide, how do they compare with how I currently eat? If you're not already doing so, journaling is a great way. Journaling everything you eat, everything you drink over the course of even just 1 week is a great way just to see as a comparison what my current eating habits look like in comparison with this Balanced Plate Guide. And then a good thing to consider is if I am under eating, or if I am excluding food groups, or if I am lacking in some areas in my diet, how can I enhance that? How can I add in? And often it's things like colour. How can I add more colour? Because if I can bring more colour into my diet, I can get more variety, I can get more fibre, I can get more nutrients in, and protein. If I can get more protein in at each meal, that helps to keep my blood sugars stable. So have a little look at the Balance Guide, compare it with the way in which you are currently eating, and then ask yourself the question, what do I need to add in? What do I need to eat more of? How can I enhance the meals that I'm already eating and that I'm already enjoying? How can I add to them to enhance them and to help keep me more nourished and more satisfied? Okay, so I hope that little tip was helpful. If you have any other questions or any other comments, please do pop them in the comments section below. I'll attach the Google link drive below. And if you're interested, I also have a free 5-day food freedom program, which is specifically offering coaching around how to break the endless diet and binge eating cycle.